Hey, it's Dave from Two Average Dudes. Michael, chime in a second. So apparently, now this isn't confirmed yet because there hasn't been the meeting yet, but it's all over the news and everything else. GM Oshawa is closing their plant. 2,500 jobs, three like union jobs, 300 salaried employees, and the reason is because of the global restructuring, or so they say. Well, this has been an issue before where GM said they're going to close and everything else. Now, as bad as that sounds, there's a couple of options. One option is we can do as always, and we can bail them out. Now, I saw a comment somebody left, on a news website that, oh, what is the government doing? Well, GM actually hasn't said what's going on. GM hasn't actually said if it can be saved. And, like always, the government dumps money into it. Like, they've dumped so much money over the years that we should all be driving a free GM product. Just the way it is. Now, there's people talking about the residuals. Oh, is there going to be Well, yes. There's tons of people that rely on GM. And you got to remember, if a big employer shuts down in any area, there is going to be residual problems because there's suppliers, there's truck drivers, there's people at your local grocery store, at your local variety store who the employees stop in and buy stuff. Of course, like if anybody thinks there isn't going to be residual effects of a shutdown, like a closure, well, I think they're a little slow. So, okay, so we have that scenario. The government throws a lot of money at them and they say, okay, we'll stay. Or we do what should happen. GM's been around for years. They say they're going to leave because of restructuring and the globalization and everything else. Let them go. Now, it's sad to say they've been around a long time. GM Oshawa employed a lot of people at one time. Like, it was the way of the world when you lived in Oshawa. But, if they're going to leave, why throw money at them every time to make them stay? Let them go. Let them go. Move forward. Unfortunately, you can't keep throwing good money after bad. And you and I wouldn't get a bailout from the government. Like, if you had a small business, or I have a small business, and we went to the government and said, you know what, we're having hard times, our stuff isn't selling right now. The government said, hey, okay, so what? But GM, because they employ a lot of people, they go to the government and say, oh, we're thinking of closing or, cutting down, blah, blah, blah. Next thing the government, oh, here's $1 billion. Here's $1 million. We'll give you tax breaks. Well, let them go. Let them go and make Oshawa something else. And I think that's what they should do. They should say, good riddance, see ya. Pack up and get out. Plain and simple, because it's time Ontario and the rest of Canada stops paying for these guys. Mike, what do you think?
Hey, Dave, here's my opinion on this. And this is brilliant business by GM. It's brilliant what they've done. Okay? They haven't leaked that they're closing down the plant. Okay? All that's been said so far is that they have not given any contracts past December 2019 to GM. Because what they're going to do is they need to restructure and start making electric cars and more environmentally friendly cars. So by not saying that we're going to have GM Oshawa do this, they're pressuring our government to actually fund the retrofit of their plant. They're convincing our government to put in the billions of dollars to make their plant retrofit in order to do these new electric cars. It's a brilliant move by GM here. They haven't said they're closing. They're just saying they're not producing any cars here yet. They haven't given any guarantee that there'll be cars past 2019. And it's brilliant business because they know our government's dumb and our government's stupid. And our government will say, oh, okay, you need a loan for $6 billion to retrofit GM so it can now do electronic cars. Our government will give them the money. And they know that. So this is utterly brilliance by GM. I love it. I love it. I love it. They used their words perfectly. They haven't said they're closing the plant. The media is the one that jumped up and said they were closing the plant. This is all media driven, this whole closing. Okay, GM just said it's unsure of what cars it's going to produce in GM past 2019. And the media's been all over this. And now it goes right to the government. And the government's just going to go to GM and say, you've been here forever. You employed 2,000 people. So here's, $1.1 billion to retrofit your plant so you can produce your electronic cars now here in Oshawa. Utterly brilliant, GM. I love it. And our government's going to jump on it. Utterly stupid, our government. So anyways, guys, leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. And have a good one today.